Hey, what's up, guys? I know I haven't made a video in fucking ages, but here I am. Um, and today I want to talk about a topic I am somewhat passionate about, which is Class of '09. Um, these are some of my favorite games to ever come out, and not like I think they're funny, they're hilarious to me. Um, but now they're apparently controversial, which I mean is not a surprise to me that someone would find them controversial, but it's what the shock is to me is that it's taken this long for them to be considered controversial. So I'm trying to find a reasonable explanation for why someone would call these controversial all of a sudden, since these are the same games that have included, you know, school shootings, fucking rape, pedophilia, you name it, it's in there. So it's like 3 games in, and now they're a huge, huge problem. And I mean, I was just kind of curious at first, but I never really looked into it because I didn't care that much. Because I figured it was probably just the games, right? But then I stumbled across a video, and I'll throw it on right now.
What is with all the? Why is like 1/3 of the game feet stuff?
Uh, I have a so Class of '09 is based on real events, encounters, and personalities, right?
Yes.
Okay, that's based on.
So basically, when I saw this clip, right, I immediately thought, well, is this what people are so fucking mad about? That he likes feet? Like, bro, this is Chainsaw Man all over again. Like, uh, I don't know. Maybe you haven't heard of it. Maybe you haven't heard about like the controversy. You don't watch anime. None of that kind of shit. But the problem with Chainsaw Man, right? Like, it had like it was the fact that like the creator was into femdom, like he liked dominant women, and that was a huge issue on Twitter for whatever fucking reason. And it was like it was the most ridiculous pile of horse shit that could have ever been conjured up. And I was like, what? So people are mad at the creator because he likes dominant women, just because it's implemented in the story. And for context, right? Like, not about Chainsaw Man. If you know, you know. In Class of '09, the new game that just came out, the flip side, it's following Jekka, which is a supporting character in the. I guess you can call him like a main character in the first couple games, but it's following her perspective rather than Nicole, and two fifths of the endings are related to Jekka like stepping on people for money, and I thought those were fucking hilarious. Really dark. They're really dark endings, but they were funny. They were funny up until the ending. But it turns out there was more to it than just the feet shit. So I found that clip I had just previously shown. I found that on Instagram, and I commented on it because, well, I'm fucking bored. I don't know what the fuck to do. I just see it, commented on it, and hopefully I get some answers about the controversy just because I don't want to look it up. And yeah, no, someone replied to me, and they said that basically he's a dipshit, and he went on Skype to basically bully autistic teens or something. And I was like, oh, well, that's kind of fucked up, but also that's pretty funny. Um, it explains a lot, in my opinion, to like what's like the content of those games. But then again, it was also back in 2013. So it's like, well, why is this coming out now? And I mean, like I have no knowledge on whether the creators said anything about these. I'm gonna call them allegations, I guess. And like before it even comes up, right? Like I don't support or condone, like that he's doing that, or that he did that, I guess. I don't want to say doing that because he's probably not doing it anymore. It's 2013. It was a very different time. He's probably a very different person, despite, you know, the content of the games. Which, that's going to segue into my next point here. It's like, anyone who's complaining about the content of the games, it's like, well, what the fuck did you expect? Did you expect, like, a fucking wholesome-ass fucking game? Like, this is from a trilogy of games where the original game was, like, subtitled as a rejection simulator. Like, they're not, like, the best games morally, right? There is, like, very touchy subjects in these games, and, like, I don't know, man. Like, it's crazy to me that things have changed so drastically. Like, even in like the context of comedy and humor, like these kinds of topics are just not okay and just taboo to people all of a sudden. And it's like, I just don't understand the outrage. I mean, it's not like, you know, like the new game, there's like a fucking Palestinian sex trade or some shit in one of the endings. And, like, I don't think that the creator is, like, condoning that, that kind of shit. Like, you don't think he's, you know, like a sex trafficker, or that he condones sex trafficking itself just because, you know, he includes it in his game. Like, it's a touchy subject. Like, that's like saying that Activision condones fucking terrorism because there's terrorists in Call of Duty. Like, I don't know. Like, yeah, sure, it's a touchy subject. I understand that. Like, it's a very serious subject. But so is pedophilia. But no one made a big like fuss about that. Like, it's just, I don't know. It's very silly to me that there's like a huge issue with it all of a sudden. And I mean, at the end of the day, they are made for comedy, and I think people need to like chill out and just try to understand that. But hey, what do I know? Maybe sex trafficking is worse than, you know, blatant racism, sexism, pedophilia, school shootings. What other kind of shit is in those fucking games? Oh, I don't know. Yeah, anyway, well, I don't dislike the games. If you do, then alright, you do you. You're no fun.
Go cry me a river.